This is Matthew Reese with Primetime Sports at day 2 of the Dallas Tip-Off Classic, and I'm sitting here with Coach Stafford of Nike D1 Premier. And Coach, I hear that your 16U team is one of the best here. Tell me a little bit about them.
Yeah, it's a very talented group. I've had the opportunity to coach college basketball for 11 years, and I did AAU for a long time. And this is probably one of the better, if not the best, AAU group I've ever had from a talent standpoint. We have size, athleticism, guys can shoot the ball. Very, very pleased with the group that I've kind of inherited here.
How do you think they performed this weekend?
I thought this was our first weekend out, first time opportunity to get out, and for us, it was a good thing. So I need to see how guys respond in game situations when things happen that we can't simulate in practice. So I thought from the way that it being our first weekend, like I told the kids, it's 3 games, and we're about a month into this. I was very pleased. I thought they played well. They play hard. That's the biggest thing. That I don't have to ever coach effort with these guys. They play hard all the time, and so very unselfish group. Usually when they have a group of talented kids like this, sometimes the trick is, or the challenge is to get them to be able to play together. One of the most unselfish groups I've ever been around. So, especially for young kids who are 9th and 10th graders.
So Nike D1 Premier, you guys are locally based, right?
Yes.
Based out of DFW. Where do you pull most of your kids from?
We've been pretty fortunate. We've gotten them pretty much all over. We have some back down south on this end. We have kids up north of Dallas, Frisco, Plano, Midlothian, Denton. So we're getting guys from all over. We've had the opportunity because of the Nike contract to be able to pull in some people that we probably otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to get.
All right, so Nike D1. I mean, I see you guys all the time. You guys You guys play a lot of primetime events.
Right.
How does the Dallas Tip-Off Classic compare to other primetime events as far as the level of competition you face this weekend?
Well, I've been doing this before. I had a group playing awards before who played in a lot of primetime events. Sometimes it appeared to be a bit watered down. Whatever they've been doing here recently, they've done a great job in terms of making it more competitive. They break it up a little bit, and so it's better matched for everybody. So you don't have the 60-point wins and the 50-point wins. They kind of put the kids who are at the higher level, skill level, together along with the kids who are maybe at the mid-level and the lower level. They can't keep them together. So now you have a bunch of competitive games, which I think makes it overall a great thing for prime time.
So the DTOC brought together some of the best programs in the Dallas area all together. What does that do for the Dallas community, the Dallas basketball community?
Again, I coach college basketball for 11 years, and I'm going to tell you without a doubt, and I recruited all over the country, and right now, I don't know that there's a better, more saturated area than the Dallas-Fort Worth area in terms of players right now. And so having events like this and putting us all together gives us opportunity to gauge, and for us, we can look and say, if you can kind of be at the top of what's here, we got a pretty good chance to be pretty good throughout the country is kind of how we feel. So, since I've been doing this here for about 5-6 years in this area, most of the times with the younger groups, they play a lot of the AAU basketball. What I found is this region is probably one of the toughest regions in the country. And so this region usually goes out and plays very well against other people throughout the country. So if you can come here and be one of the better teams here, you got a chance to be pretty good throughout the country.
So Nike D1, tell me, when somebody faces your team, what can they expect to see on the court? What style of play do you guys have?
I tell you, without a doubt, we're going to probably be one of the hardest playing teams. One of the greatest defensive teams. We're going to get after you defensively. One of the most unselfish teams. We're going to move the ball. Our goal at the end of the day is for people to look at us and say, those kids really know how to play basketball. They understand the game. They understand the concept. They understand how to read and react to what's going on the court. So the goal is to get these kids to the point where when they have people have to match up against us, it's not only they're matching up against our talent, but they're also matching up against our basketball IQ.
So you coached college for 11 years,
Yes.
so you were saying. Tell me, or not me, because
Right.
I don't have a chance to play college basketball, but youth athletes who watch this, what is the one piece of advice that you would give them to make themselves more recruitable?
I think at the end of the day, just your basketball IQ and your knowledge of the game. I think I can remember when I would go out and watch kids play, and there would be 2 kids who have equal talent almost, or maybe there's one kid's a little bit more talented or a little bit more athletic than the other, but the other kid really understands how to play. He understands how to set good screens. He understands how to backdoor cut. Learning how to play the game the right way is something that will jump out to a coach's attention when he comes out to watch you play. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the group of kids that we have. We got a very talented young group, and they really have a skill level off the charts. Now we're trying to take that skill level with their basketball IQ, mix it together, and see what it looks like in the end. And again, everything we're doing is trying to build these kids toward putting themselves in a position to pay for their own education and get a basketball scholarship and go to college. So,
Off the court, what lessons do you try to instill in the athletes that come through D1?
The biggest thing is just, handling yourself and not only saying that you're representing us as a program, but you're representing your family name, you're representing your community, you're representing yourself well, whatever you do. A lot of opportunities you're going to get, not necessarily by your ability, but because people just like you at the end of the day. So we're trying to teach them to be good people. We pray before and after practices, before and after games. We try to keep God first in everything that we do. And at the end of the day, one of the things we say at the end there when we break every day is FOE, which is family over everything. And at the end of the day, we're family, and we want to make sure that we're looking out for each other as well as looking out for our namesakes, our family names.
Lastly, you've been around the basketball game a long time.
Yep.
You've seen it evolve. What do you think youth basketball needs the most right now to continue to progress?
I think the biggest thing is better coaching and getting the opportunity to find guys who are truly vested in getting our players better. At the end of the day, when you're involved with things like the Nike situation where you have to perform to get a contract, for us that's important, but what's most important to me is that I'm developing these guys. And one of the biggest things that we talk about with the kids all the time is we want to get you prepared to go play college basketball. So when you walk in as a freshman, you look remarkably different from the other freshmen that you play against or that you're going to compete against for minutes. And so the earlier that you're able to walk in and be able to play, the better chances you have to be on that team or get a scholarship or and not only get a scholarship, but get a scholarship to a place that you want to go to at the end of the day.